Hi everyone, just got out of Annihilation. Sorry if you hear the, it got a little cool. It's February in New England, but we've had some nice weather for the last couple of days, and now it's kind of gone back down to cold. So sorry if you hear the heater going in the background. But Annihilation, and I'm doing this on my new stand, which is a wallet that Carrie gave me. Carrie, if you actually do watch this video, spoilers, we're seeing it on Sunday, so I really wouldn't advise you to watch this video yet. But this is actually working quite nicely. I just tried it out. I'm like, hey, I'm not struggling at all with this. Anyway, Annihilation. Based off from the same writer and director of Ex Machina, which I loved. Ex Machina. That to me was some of the most original sci-fi. I mean, it's not a new concept, AI, all that, but it was a very original take on it to some degree. It was well written, dialogue was good, characters were engaging. I really want to say the same thing about this movie. I won't say this movie was bad. This movie was not bad, but it is not the same. It is not, at least to me. Carrie would actually feel a little differently about Ex Machina than I do. I loved Ex Machina. She liked it. Her words, I believe. And for me, this is not bad. Like, if Ex Machina is like the top tier, and I don't think I gave that movie a 10. That was fantastic. But Ex Machina is here. This movie's definitely some hovering in this area. The story is kind of... Natalie Portman plays a biologist who was in the military. Her husband, Oscar Isaac, is also in the military. He's tasked to go to a mission to what they dubbed the Shimmer, which is this thing that landed in this area in a lighthouse in this park and is creating a prism effect, which, as they explain in the movie, it's like a prism. It's refracting everything, including DNA of plants, animals, and yes, their own DNA. So, and as she says, it wasn't destroying, it was making something new. That's in the trailer. Yeah, there's spoilers in here because I'm going to talk about some stuff. So right off the bat, what I liked, I mean, visually I can't say it's beautiful all the time. Some of the shots are gorgeous, like some of the forest shots are beautiful. Some of the effects work on whatever it is. It's something extraterrestrial, we know that. So, the alien. Yeah, the effects work on that occasionally is really gorgeous to look at. Some of the designs are interesting for some of the wildlife they interact with. CGI work is actually pretty good. All these here, like on the bear and the gator, those things look really great. So there's that. Ooh, I was about to go into acting for a positive, but that's neither positive nor negative. That falls into, but there's some of the actors are really, like Natalie Portman is a world-class actress when she's on her game. I won't say she's 100% on her game, because there are lines delivered in this movie. Like, at one point she sees a list of names of people of like the last search party, they're in this area. And she's just, look what I found! Literally in that tone. I'm like, that's what I kind of like, just a couple of like nice delivery there. Like, okay. I'm like, are you trying to convince them? I'm not certain where that comes from. But overall, she's really good. She's playing a broken woman really well, and a woman who clearly wasn't as faithful as she likes. And that's gonna stick to the thing I'm talking about right now, Brian. We'll deal with that when we get to it. So she's good. Tessa Thompson's really, I always loved Tessa Thompson, and she's really good. She's the physicist on the team, and she actually was able to explain things that are going on in the movie to a degree. But it's also, it's implied, not even implied, I can't remember the name. I only remember Tessa Thompson, Natalie Portman, and Oscar Isaac as actors' names. I don't even remember character names. There is, the head of the team was the CIA who ended up having cancer, so she knew it was going to be her last mission. There is the medic, like the paramedic, the Latino, lesbian, and yes, they make a note of that. Not the Latino part, but the lesbian part. And she's a former alcoholic. Tessa Thompson was a cutter, either through possibly, to feel alive or suicidal. And, oh God, what was the other one's profession? These characters don't necessarily leave a lasting impression. Though, crazy medic chick kind of going crazy is kind of fun to watch. I mean, it's not like wacky crazy, but it's, it's like, you lied. It's just, and if I cut my insides up with a lie, see, it's like, okay, so we said to kill them and to kill that, so that person's boss, but I didn't see a bear. Only you two saw the bear. And if you tied me down, you cut me up, would my insides be moving? No, but then again, you're the one tied to the chair. So yeah. And she's like, okay, so it's kind of fun to watch her go off the rails. Tessa Thompson's more like, you know what? You want to fight it, she wants to find it. I don't want either of those, and she disappears. And I'm assuming what happens to her is she turned into one of the plants that was formed. Because as you notice, when what's the best way to put it? She starts kind of explaining things, and she gets off the ground and stands up. And immediately I noticed that her veins were bulging. I'm like, okay, something's going on there. And as she's walking away in a surprisingly brisk pace, I see more and more foliage showing up on her arms, and eventually she turns a corner and she's gone. We don't see her. I would assume that she maybe turned into a plant. Also, fun note, I saw Pokemon in this movie. Oh yeah, I saw they actually did their homework and made a Pokemon in this movie, legitimate one. For those of you who are Pokemon fans and played Gen 5, that would be Sawsbuck. We got actual Sawsbuck. I believe the spring form of Sawsbuck. So for all you fans out there, because we have these little deer that have antlers that have little buds on them. I'm like, it's a little Sawsbuck. That's adorable. Concept-wise, it's an interesting, because they open up with the talk about cells, division, things along those lines. And right off the bat, I'm like, okay, this is going to play a part in something or other. And yeah, it's something to do with division and cells and mitosis, things along those lines. And I took a stab in my head of where the movie was going based off a line of dialogue and Natalie Portman. Because the movie's being retold through basically, not interrogation, but her debriefing after coming out of the damn thing. And she makes a comment about cells and biology, about restoration, something like that, and duplication. And we see that Oscar Isaac had come back to her after being gone for a year, and the reaction he has is like basically nothing. And I'm at first thinking, is this a dream sequence? No. Okay. Is this even him? And since I put spoilers on the video, it's not him. The thing made a duplicate of him. Which, his actual death scene was kind of fun. He's just talking about, he's just being interviewed by himself, basically. He's talking about, my mind's wandering and I can't take it anymore. It just takes a fuzz. You ever see a phosphorus grenade go off? It's really bright. And then just lights it up and burns. Which is how she kind of killed. By the way, this thing was really flammable. Like, God knows flammable. It was a phosphorus grenade. She ends up laying a phosphorus grenade in its hand, which transforms into her. And it goes off. And at first, like, okay, there's flames on it. And no, the phosphorus keeps burning and burning. And then the whole thing just lights up like that. So I'm like, okay. Okay. I think I've gone over. So concept-wise, visual-wise, some of the design-wise, it's solid science fiction. I will give it that. It is solid science fiction. However, other actors in the movie. Oh god, and I don't know what this autosave. My phone's been doing this weird autosaving thing lately. The main, I recognize the woman too, who was the leader. I know her. I didn't stay for the credits, honestly, because I was just like, okay, I'm done. I recognize her, and I don't know her name. God, she was boring to watch. She was not an interesting character whatsoever in her delivery, in her dialogue, in her character, she was boring. She was boring. I'll give her this. She's a psychiatrist, or psychologist. And she does have one interesting conversation with Natalie Portman about the nature of suicide versus... oh god, what's the word? Damn it. Self-destructing. a suicide versus self-destructing, and they have a conversation. That was an interesting conversation they were having. Other than that, though, she is just not interesting to watch. And then she bites it in a really weird way. Like, when Natalie Portman finally reaches the lighthouse where this thing is, and she finds the woman down there, and at first it's like it looks like her eyes are gone, then she shows back up, and it's like, nope, her eyes are still there. She explains it, it's inside me now, and it's gonna total annihilation, and then she just starts barfing fiery magma biofluid. I don't know. I don't know what was going on. And she like basically just kind of goes and melts into being. I don't know what was happening in this scene. So, and then she encounters that, and I'll get into all that pantomime stuff a little later. So she wasn't very interesting at all to watch. The problem, a real problem I had, I have no issue overall with nonlinear storytelling. I don't have an issue with that. Like in Arrival, I actually felt like it worked better in Arrival given the nature of Arrival, because the nature of Arrival was dealing with time and perceptions and nonlinear. I realized later on it was about nonlinear. You can see through different time frames and things like that. It was interesting. The perception time was a big factor in that movie. And this, it's not. There's nothing to do with it. But instead we open with, we open with her talking about cells, talking to a coworker, I think, who we find out later she was having an affair with. Cut to her house, and then cut back to her being interrogated, and then we keep jumping back and forth. And there's these like 3 title cards. I can't remember what the first one was, but then when we hit the word shimmer, the minute they go into it, the shimmer, we immediately cut to her just riding into her coworker's dick. I'm like, okay, I get it. She was having an affair. And it was a dream, but still, and then we come back to that again in another point scene. I think the lighthouse it was, when she finally reaches that. And we finally say, okay, yeah. No, granted, it was a funny line that came out of that we all laughed at a bit. Just like, you know, it's weird. It's like, you don't hate me, you hate yourself. No, you're wrong. I hate you too. And we all got a good little laugh out of that. But so the nonlinear storytelling, from the affair she was having to what was taking place beforehand, there was no point to it being nonlinear. Besides the fact, apart from the debriefing part I could understand, honestly. It was the same way in like Atomic Blonde. And a bunch of other movies do this. So you're hearing about the story from them, and so you'll cut back here and there to them telling you the story of what happened, and that's fine. I can deal with that. It just didn't. It just once you get to go into the affair and her past life with her husband, I'm like, it's not working for me. It's really not working for me. Okay. The ending. This movie was paced oddly a little bit. It was kind of. It's not over 2 hours long. It's a little less than 2 hours long. It did feel like it was dragging its heels at point, particularly in the beginning. Particularly while we're waiting to actually go into the shimmer. It's like, okay, we have to introduce these characters. Okay, Natalie Portman, we get the gist of. Oscar Isaac, we kind of got the gist of a little bit, maybe, sort of. The 3 token characters who are going to die. And the leader, we get the general just like, hey, it's like, okay, we had a bet on this, hey, you know, okay, I'd say, you're hitting on her, yay, yeah, I'm hitting on her, yeah, it's like, hey, okay, more exposition later in the shimmer, yay, alright, which I was going to suspect that maybe, like, the cuts on her arm, might have gone somewhere, but they didn't, like, maybe something mutated, I don't know, but, oh, before I get into the end, I will say the effects on the gore they used were quite impressive. This is an R-rated movie for a reason. We see one of the characters get their throat ripped out. Another one get her freaking jaw ripped off. Bear's brains get blown out. See them cut a guy open, and his intestines are literally like alive. And then he's like pretty much kind of just burst into like tumorous mutation growth fungi, whatever that is. They do kind of a decent job at explaining enough, but without explaining everything. That's kind of one of the things I wouldn't mind them explaining. Like what she, because the point says like they're like tumors. Like, so what does that mean? So the end. So Natalie Portman gets to the lighthouse. She finds the burnt remains of her husband. Finds the thing duplicate itself. Finds the head chick down there. She goes kind of crazy, and the thing bursts out of her. And we get this admittedly very interesting looking visual. Like, it's very beautiful looking in many ways. It's like live. It's like a liquid, but an organism. But it's the woman even says it's not like us. It's unlike us. So that was interesting to look at. Then Natalie Portman like bleeds a little bit of blood into it, and it takes on her form. She shoots it like nothing happens. She moves out of the lighthouse or tries to get upstairs. It's already there, and it's pantomiming her movements. And whenever she tries to like attack or leave or something, it like stops her. But it keeps pantomiming her movements, and eventually it turns into her, and she lights a phosphor grenade and burns the thing down. And then we cut to the debriefing where she goes to see her husband, who we know at this point is not her husband. It is like a cell duplicate. It's a new cell. It's a blank slate basically. And you're not Kane, are you? It's like, are you Lena? Or something like that. And they hug, and you see the shimmer in his eyes, and you see the shimmer in her eyes because she tested her blood. She had the thing in her. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, kind of, because there was nothing to say the shimmer was gone in her bloodstream. Just because she actually killed the thing doesn't mean that it was gone. And that's how the movie ends. So it's like, ambiguous. Annihilation 2. More Annihilation. There's no actual plural for the word. Or adjective, I guess would be the better term. There's no ing or did or Annihilation did. So that's how it ends. And then on other movies, hell, I'll even say I like Transcendence. All right, that one with Johnny Depp becomes a computer. I think that one's not terrible. And the ambiguous end to that movie that worked fine. In a different movie like Ex Machina, this kind of ending would have worked better. And this one, a lot of the dialogue is just dry, not stilted. Stilted's not, except for main actress. None of her dialogue felt natural at all. It's like it felt very forced coming out of her. Dialogue is dry. Characters mostly there to die, but some of them die in interesting ways. A lot of it doesn't make sense. The storytelling did not work. The storytelling style, once apart from the debriefing part, didn't work for me. Like going to the affair, going back to her past, like the way they told it just did not work for me. Not very well. And I'm going to see this again because Carrie wants to see it, and I promised her we would. And maybe I can appreciate it again on a second viewing. Now that I know now that I know what to expect, maybe I can appreciate that more. And maybe I can get more from it. But right now, it's not terrible. I'll go 5 out of 10. It's average. Honestly, it's not long because it's not less than 2 hours. It does feel like it drags its heels though. You could have gotten rid of a chunk of this film. Like you could have probably gotten rid of 15 minutes, and it probably would have worked a bit better. But yeah, I'll go 5 out of 10. It's about average. Which is a shame because I was really looking forward to this movie. Wouldn't say I'm truly disappointed because, frankly, with something like this, a kind of high concept film in some ways, because it's pretty much ask me what it means, ask me what it means. Yeah, ask me what it freaking means. I'm sure Found Flicks will do the ending explained in this movie. So yeah, 5 out of 10. Trailers, Pacific Rim 2. I was late getting into the movie. Still got 6 trailers though, or was able to see 6 trailers because this line was slow today for some reason. Pacific Rim 2, I'm down. Obviously, that's probably going to be a fun time. Rampage, newest trailer. I'm looking forward to Rampage. That looks like it's going to be a fun, dumb time. It's big arm, don't fight it. Red Sparrow, that's like next week, so it's either that or, oh god, Death Wish. I'm going to see both of them, maybe not in the same week, but I'm going to see both of them. I'm going to be on. I'm going to probably do Red Sparrow. Well, we'll see what the showtimes are. If the showtimes allow it, I'm going to do Red Sparrow first because that looks like the better of the two, and then I will vent my possible frustration, possible future frustration, and very likely frustration about the Death Wish remake next week or the week after on Tuesday. Sicario 2 Soldado, that looks good. I still need to see the first one, but that looks good. Mission Impossible Fallout. I liked the last Mission Impossible. I liked Mission Impossible 3. I never saw 1, 2, or 4. But hey, yeah, this is 6. Hey, I'm enjoying them, and the trailer looks good. And Quiet Place. Now, this is one I want to say something on. I saw the first trailer for Quiet Place. I'm like, okay, what is it? Is it like the supernatural? Is it a creature of some kind? Ghost, aliens, what? So spoilers right now for this trailer, because if you pay attention to the newest trailer for this movie, you know what it is. Now, first off, the movie still looks good. I still very much want to see the movie. That said, I can now tell you what it actually is. It is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's aliens. And you know why? Because if you listen to the very beginning of that trailer, you will see Emily Blunt watching news reports, and you'll hear a news reporter say, there's an invasion taking over, or something like that. So, therefore, aliens. Or, I mean, it could not, maybe they'll have a different explanation. Maybe it's not aliens, but when you use the term invasion and people fighting back and all that stuff, you make it sound like aliens. That's what you make it sound like. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not, and if it isn't, great. But other than that, though, I mean, we do get a little bit of dialogue in that trailer. It's like, if we can't protect him, what can we do? You know, but it's clearly in like a try to make a soundproof area. So yeah, I still think that looks pretty awesome. Can't wait to see it. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Ideas of what would win, Star Wars, superhero, magic, what if. Anything I do on the channel, put that in the comments below as well. I'll get to that at some point. The Who Would Win will be up today. I actually meant to upload it before I left to work. I just honestly forgot. I have it pre-recorded from yesterday, so there is that. They're all Dragon Ball Super, so I'm not doing a video on that. There'll be a what if this weekend, as well as box office. But other than that, I don't have, with the Who Would Win throughout the remainder of the week. So, but other than that, I don't have really anything else planned for the week. Maybe I'll think of something to do. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you folks next time. Have a good night.